Okay, so the video that I made before was incredibly. I would pause a lot and I would stop a lot. I've never been live on anything, on tape, on record, saying anything, let alone my testimony, let alone anything like that. So it's personal. But I was researching. This is a continuation on of this. In the name of Yahuah. So I was researching and doing a lot of research on my laptop, and I didn't have a lot of friends, so I wouldn't really go out. I would just go to work and then come home and research. And this was my life. And so where I left off was flat Earth, and what I learned was that we're not on this spinning ball in just the middle of nowhere, and life is meaningless because there's so many more planets out there, and there's just so much more life out there. That's what they teach you. But really, honestly, what it is it's just us. All of us were created for a reason. Every life and each life was created by a spirit, which is the Almighty Spirit, and it will return to that. It will come back unto Him, and He will send them back from where they came from. He will come back to collect who He needs, because honestly, the scriptures say that the kingdom of Yahuah is within you. You cannot say, there it is, or here it is, because it's within you. So if the kingdom of Yahuah is within you, when Yahusha comes back to collect, He will come back to those who already have the kingdom within them to be a part of that kingdom. If that makes sense, if you're following, just and then the evil will not be a part of that. So the evil spirits will go where they need to go, because heaven is not heaven if everyone goes, and everyone plays a role in what's good and what's bad. And so when I did that, then I bought scripture. Back then it was a Bible. It's actually over there. I thought it was right near me right here, but it's only like 5 feet away back there in my room. But back then I would call it a Bible. On the front it says the Holy Bible. The word Bible, I don't use that anymore because it comes from the term Biblos, which is all just ancient. You have to be careful the words that you use. So I use scripture because Biblos it's just terminology to throw you off. The word Bible is never used back then. It's not used in scripture. So yeah, and I read scripture and I began at Genesis, and it took me a while to read. It took me actually 9 months to read, 9+ months to read, because I was pregnant in that time. And I realized that I have to be sound spiritually. I knew that I was not. And after realizing that the Creator is so close to me and He can see everything that I'm doing, and that I want a relationship with Him, I began to have a relationship with Him outside of church. Because in church, I never felt close to Him. So I started to pray to Him as to how I read. For example, I would speak unto Him, and I would draw nigh unto Him with my right hand, and He would draw nigh unto me with His right hand. And just certain prayers I would have in my head, and I would speak them out loud, and I would feel His presence, and I would feel Him near unto me. And He's amazing, especially when you use the right name. So going back to that, I would be on YouTube a lot, and I stumbled across this video that I'm pretty sure it started off with the Mark of the Beast. And so at this point in time, I was looking into everything bad, because if there is something bad, there has to be something good. So that's how I found Yahuah, and I found that you're not supposed to use the name God and Lord and all of that, because those are really just names for Master Satan. That's what that translates to in Hebrew. So I started to use his true set-apart name, because if you were to, for example, if I were to go to a different country, let's say I'm in the States right now. If I were to go to Canada, doesn't count. If I were to go to Germany and how my name translates in German, if you were to call me that, I'm not going to respond to you. So they have all these names for Yahuah. They have all these names for Yahusha, like Jesus and Christ. That's not his name. And if you truly want him to respond unto you, you have to use his name. You have to use his Hebrew name. He is Hebrew, so you need to speak his Hebrew name. I have his name written on the wall up there. I can show you later. I have Yahusha, you might be able to see it, and then I have Yahuah written up there too. And it's just crucial. And I saw a difference in my life. And what's weird is I was talking about in my first video about how things would get removed whenever I would be online. There was, I don't know if you guys know who Polite is. I really don't even know him either, but there was one video that I saw by him, and this was recent, of how he speaks about how Jesus can't be white. And so I clicked on it and I viewed the video, and something that I do a lot is I look a lot in the comments to see how people receive it, and not a lot I interact, but I interacted this time with someone who brought up a very valid point, and they said that if the letter J wasn't around back then, how could his name have been Jesus? And that's true. It is true, because it's not his name, because the letter J was actually added on into the English language in the late 1500s by a Catholic monk. And it was an I, and he just added the J on the bottom of it to make it a J. And so it's impossible for his name to have been that if that letter didn't exist back then. So I read that comment, and there was a response to it that was really just mocking him. So I spoke to this person, and we were going back and forth for a long time, and it was a very fruitful conversation. But I went back recently just to see, because I started to make this video, well, the one before, these series of videos, because I am starting this now, and I was just seeing, like, if it is still true, if they do still remove what I say when I do talk about things, because it happened on Facebook, it happened on Instagram. I got blocked out of that too. And on YouTube, all my accounts get shut down just for me talking to people. So I went back to this one just to see. And that conversation was deleted. That comment was deleted, as well as all of our comments below it. Because we were speaking about, I was telling him about how the cross is actually the sign of the mark of the beast. Because Yahuwah says that you need to keep his name in your forehead, and it'll be a sign upon your hand. So a lot of people think that it's the RFID chip that you get inserted into your hand, and that is satanic. You shouldn't do that to begin with, because he tells you not to get any incisions in you. That was actually the plate and all of the metal things that we put on ourselves, including jewelry, like anything flashy. That was actually like jewelry and trinkets and things like that. That was actually all things given to us by fallen angels that we weren't supposed to know about. So knives and all of that, like, because people use it not all the time to cut vegetables and prepare food, but sometimes they'll use it to make incisions on themselves, and so it just falls into the wrong hands, which is humanity, because people like us, yes, we live in the physical world, but so do demons, and they're invisible, so they can possess us, and they're the ones who gave us that information to begin with. So once they possess us, then if you're weak enough and you don't live in Yahuwah, then you will get tattoos, you will cut yourself, you will do all kinds of things to yourself. So yeah, that aside,